That was a close one. Too close for my liking. 17 points to the Springboks, 10 points to Argentina. Not the best game at all from the Springboks. We have to admit that right now. If we play like that against the All Blacks, we are going to absolutely get thrashed. That's just the reality of it. We have to be realistic about this. A very poor performance from the Springboks away from home. Lack of intensity. Just bad skill sets, silly mistakes, but you also have to give credit to Argentina. Argentina were brilliant today, playing with a momentum, flow in their game, attacking with passion, attacking with fearlessness. They were absolutely fearless compared to the Springboks. They went out there and played in a way where they didn't care if they lost. They didn't care how they lost. They went out there to win and win the way they play rugby. So for Argentina, you have to give credit to them. They were absolutely awesome. I don't know the winger's name from Argentina. I think it's the number 11 today. Not Iskro, the other one. He was absolutely brilliant today. I thought the Argentina players stepped up to the plate. They were physical. They played with intensity. They took the game to the Springboks. And I hope the All Blacks were not watching that game to kind of get the blueprint for how to play against the Springboks. Because it seemed for a long period in that game, it seemed like the Springboks had no clue at all what to do. They were just stagnant, stuck in their ways, not getting any momentum, kicking the ball away. Poor accuracy as well with the kicks. It was just a really lackluster performance from the Springboks. Not a good performance at all. Right now, the final whistle's literally just gone right now, and I'm just thinking about it, trying to think what I'm going to say to really react to this and give an honest review, and all I can say is a very poor performance from the Springboks. But that being said, there was still some good individual performances there. There were some guys that put their hands up. I will be going over that in the player ratings coming out tomorrow morning, so if you are a Springbok fan, early in the morning for you, there will be a player ratings waiting for you early in the morning at about 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. So if you guys do wake up tomorrow morning, you'll see there is a player ratings. And also, if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. I really do appreciate all the support. We're going for 10,000, we're going for 100,000, and I cannot do it without you guys. I really do appreciate all the support. But let's get right back into this game. I have a lot to say, I have a lot to think about, a lot to talk about, and I'm just going to try go with it right now because the final whistle's literally just gone right now, and I'm very disappointed as a Springbok fan. I'm very disappointed, and you know what? It's been tough watching this right now because I know for a fact that as a fan, I know some of the Springbok fans need to be a little bit more humble. So in a way, I'm happy that this did happen. I think for the players' sake, I'm happy that this did happen right now and not against the All Blacks. So in a way, I am happy that this happened. I'm happy that we had a tough performance where things didn't work out for us. I'm happy that we struggled. I'm happy that it wasn't our best game because a lot of players will get a wake-up call. I think a lot of players really thought they've been injured, they've had a break now. Now they're going to come back, go to Argentina, tear Argentina apart, and now they're back in the team. Everything's good. That's not the case at all. I can tell you one thing for sure. I don't think Sasha Ngomazulu was at his best at all today. And I'm a massive Sasha Feinberg Ngomazulu fan. But the way he played today, I'd rather have a guy like Mani Lebok starting in the 10 jersey with a guy like Andre Pollard coming off the bench. There's so many things to think about, so many things to dissect. Of course, he's been back from an injury. Of course, he's a great player. Of course, he probably will start against the All Blacks. But there was a pretty lackluster performance from him today. I thought the guys that really played well, in my opinion, I'd say Bowen Fenter was pretty solid at prop there. I thought Eben Etzebeth was decent around the park at times, made a few mistakes, but I thought he had a pretty decent return today. Who's some of the other guys that played today? I thought Elrich Lowe was okay. Sia Khaleesi was okay while he was on the field. I thought Cameron Hanekom was absolutely brilliant. If Sia Khaleesi is unable to play in those test matches against the All Blacks because of an injury, I definitely think Paul de Villiers should get the starting jersey and Cameron Hanekom can play that kind of Kwagga Smith role from the bench. Once again as well, from the bench, Marco van Staden was brilliant. I might just want to give that guy the number 16 jersey, but also Jan-Hendrik Wessels was good off the bench. I don't know if Johan Grobbelaar will get the number 16 jersey going forward, but let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. I'm just spitballing now off the top of my head because I just have to go on a bit of a rant because I've been seeing a performance like this coming from a long way away. I saw it happening. I saw it coming from a long way away. Just maybe some of the players, some of the staff, some of the everything around the Springboks right now, too comfortable, bit too arrogant as well, I'd say. I'd really do believe. I see in the comments everywhere. I see some of the comments to some of the videos like, we're going to smash the All Blacks. It's going to be easy. That's a bit of arrogance from our side. And it's really good that we did get a bit of a humbling today. If we lost this game, I would have been upset about it. I would have been disappointed. But I wouldn't have been mad because it would have probably been the best thing for South African rugby right now because the way we're going and the direction we're going, from a mindset perspective, we are getting a little bit arrogant right now, and we needed a performance like that to kind of humble us and show us we're not going to be top dogs forever if we don't play like top dogs. We can't just expect that we're going to win all these games. Yes, we did end up winning the game, but still, you have to go out there and play better, because the All Blacks right now are the number 2 team in the world. They played about 5 of their main players against the Stormers, so all those other guys are rested now. All those other guys are ready to go. They have a very good side. They're in South Africa right now. They're climatized as well. They are coming to take the South African scalp. They are coming to take back the number 1 spot in the world. And I think, honestly, if the Springboks play like they did today, the All Blacks will do that quite easily. So a lot of things to think about. Of course, there's about 15 players still left at home for the Springboks. I mean, Malcolm Marx, Oxenchair, Karlu Sadi, Ruan Nortje, Franco Mostert, Peter Steph Tutoy, Jasper Wiese, Paul de Villiers, Grant Williams, Manie Lebok, Dale Lindy, Creel, Kurtlia Orange, Colby, Damien Willems. So the whole starting lineup basically is still at home. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not too worried about the games there of the Springboks not playing well. It's just, as a squad, need to play better. It was a bit of a scare in the Scotland game as well. First half against England was poor, and especially the second half of the first half. Scotland game was a bit of a scare as well. This game now, again, we need to get better. We need to start playing better. But first of all, before I go over the stats, before I go over the players' stats, Argentina, brilliant performance from them. They came to play. They came with intensity. That's what we like to see from Argentina. I was really disappointed with them in the Nations Championship, but they came today. They came to play. I was laughing about it because I think their anthem was almost as long as the game, but it was a brilliant anthem. I love the Argentina anthem at home. I still want to watch Argentina play in person one day. That would be a very bucket list thing for me, to go to Argentina to watch them play. The atmosphere looks awesome. So Argentina, you have to give them credit. Pablo Matera was awesome. Thomas Lavanini was busy around the park. Guido Petty as well. Carreras was really good in the number 10 jersey today as well. The winger, the left winger, I don't know his name. Number 11 for Argentina. Absolutely outstanding today. And Argentina, even the guys that came from debut, I think 4 guys today made their debut. They played with confidence. They played with kind of intensity. They played with purpose today. And that's what you want to see more of for Argentina. They're an attack-minded team. Yes, they can kick the ball around. They can kick for possession. They can slow the ball down if they need to get their exits on point. But they are a naturally gifted team, full of athletes, full of very good rugby players. So it was very good to see that. But let's go through some of the team stats now. And then we'll go over some of the players as well. And our player ratings video will be coming out after this in the morning as well. So this will be coming out tonight, player ratings in the morning. So thank you so much for all the support. But let's see some of the possession here. 55% possession for the Springboks, 45% for Argentina. And I will say there was a lot more phases being played by the Springboks today. They were trying to play through the phases. They also did kick the ball away aimlessly a lot of the time. And the kicking accuracy today from the Springboks was horrific today. The box kicks were not up to point. The contestable up and unders really weren't up to scratch either. A lot of balls going sideways, going backwards. That's not how the Springboks play. If the Springboks are going to be inaccurate like that, they're not going to win games going forward. They need to be accurate off the boot. And to be honest, the Springboks are probably the best kicking rugby team in the world, them in England. Probably the 2 better rugby kicking sides in the world. Getting those contestables, pinpoints, good under the high ball. And today, we weren't able to do that. We weren't able to get the accurate kicks. We had good chase lines, but without an accurate kick, you can't get the ball back. You can't put the other team under pressure. So that's something that's going to have to be a work on going forward. But looking at the 22-meter entries, we've got 8 entries into the opposition 22 for the Springboks, an average of 2.1 average points per entry. Very low for the Springboks there, but still decent compared to the other teams in World Rugby on an average basis. 5 entries to the Springboks 22 for Argentina. 1.4 average points scored per entry. So the Springboks were still clinical in defense in that they only gave up 10 points in the game. And I've said this before, Argentina have a knack of scoring a lot of points against the Springboks sometimes, but today they weren't able to, and the Springboks did very well of at least minimizing the damage of them not scoring enough points by not allowing Argentina to score more points. So it could have been a lot worse for the Springboks as well, especially with the way Argentina was playing. So let's look at the attacking profile. Let's see where the differences were made. Of course, 8 22-meter entries for the Springboks compared to 5 for Argentina. 22-meter conversions, 2 for the Springboks, 1 for Argentina. 8 line breaks for Argentina, 5 for the Springboks. 146 carries for the Springboks, 124 for Argentina. 43 kicks for the Springboks, and I think most of those kicks were inaccurate. Poor kicks as well, 37 for Argentina. And to be honest, I don't remember Argentina actually kicking the ball away that much. Post-contact meters, 219 for Argentina and 208 for the Springboks. So Argentina winning the line break battle, also winning the post-contact meters battle. And to be honest, at some times also winning the kicking battle with less kicks. So a lot to work on for the Springboks. Of course, A lot of those guys now are coming back from injury. It was good for them to kind of dust off the cobwebs. I just wish the Springboks had at least one more game to play, but they're going to be training very hard against each other, and I fully expect an internal game, Springboks versus Springboks next week, which should be a very exciting game within the camp. But looking at some of the other stats here, the defensive profile, 16 dominant tackles for the Springboks, unable to really get that into more momentum for their side, unable to get that into penalties and momentum to take the game away from Argentina. 16 dominant tackles is a lot, so that's a positive to take for the Springboks. A lot of dominant tackles, 5 for Argentina, so there were some very big hits in this game. The Etzebeth double tackle was great. Marco van Staden came on and laid a few people out, so it's really good to see that. Tackles made, 187 tackles made for Argentina, 160 tackles made for the Springboks. Tackles missed, Springboks with double the amount of tackles missed in Argentina. Argentina with 16 tackles missed, the Springboks with 30. That is unacceptable. That is absolutely unacceptable. 5 turnovers, 1 for the Springboks, unable to capitalize on those turnovers. 2 for Argentina. Tackle offloads allowed. The Springboks allowed 17 offloads in the tackles, and Argentina only allowing 10. Territory, 61% territory for the Springboks, 39 for Argentina. Once again, unable to capitalize on that. Ruck speed here, the average ruck speed today was 5.4 seconds for the Springboks and 4.5 seconds for Argentina. Rucks below 3 seconds, less than 50% for the Springboks, 48%, not good there, very slow ball, and the Springboks do tend to play slow ball with regards to kicking the ball away, but still the amount of rucks under 3 seconds means when they're trying to play fast, they were unable to a lot of the time. 48% under 3 seconds for the Springboks, 60% for Argentina, so need to see that change, need to see quicker ruck speed from the Springboks, and that's just why Argentina were better today. They were better, they were playing quicker, they were more aware, they were more alert, they were playing with a lot more intensity, a lot more vigor. So we need to see a lot more of that from the Springboks going forward, especially against the All Blacks, who are now playing back to those roots, back to their fundamentals of playing quick, playing exciting rugby. 7 scrums for the Springboks, 2 for Argentina, 100% scrum win rate for both sides. Not really that many dominant scrums either way today. It was pretty fair. I mean, there's a few rotations in the scrums, guys scrumming in and stuff where the penalties were not really that much dominance. There was, of course, good scrum penalties. I remember the Thomas du Toit one, but other than that, not too much either. Line-out win percentage, 90% for the Springboks, 87% for Argentina. Then, of course, looking at the attack, 188 passes for Argentina, 145 for the Springboks, 146 carries for them versus 124 for Argentina. Some pretty okay stats here, but looking at some of the players' stats, the best performers of the game, the most successful passes in the game, Kobus Reinach. They're moving on to the most points scored in the game, 5 points by Santiago Carreras. Last try scorer of the game, Cameron Hanekom, who was my man of the match. He was absolutely brilliant. Johan Grobbelaar with 16 carries. Ignacio Ruiz with 25 tackles completed. He was everywhere. 4 line breaks for Ignacio Mendy. I think that's number 11. They don't even have his picture here because he's just that unknown. But now we know who he is. He was brilliant. Mendy was absolutely brilliant. He's definitely one to watch going forward. Santiago Carreras with 2 turnovers, 1. I have to give him credit because he struggled in a lot of the games in the Nations Championship, but he's been brilliant. And I think they're going to struggle to give the 10 jersey back to Albanos if he can carry on playing like that, because he was really good in this game. Pablo Matera with 8 defenders beaten. He was physical. He was all over the park as well. Looking at some of the other stats here, let's see some of the carries. Johan Grobbelaar with 16 carries. Sasha Ngomazulu with 15 carries. And this is becoming a bit of a worry for me. The lack of passing from him. They're more taking contact, where as a fly-off, I see Manie Lebok really good at this, distributing the ball with good timing, getting other players in better positions. And I don't think that's just Sasha's fault. I think that was the whole depth of the line's fault. The way they were attacking the ball, getting the ball on the not on the front foot, flat-footed as well. The Springboks really were flat-footed today, not playing on the front foot, not getting the ball in motion. And that makes it a lot more difficult for Sasha Ngomazulu to look up, see, where's all my good options? There's no good options. So I have to take contact myself. That happened a lot today. So you have to kind of take it with a pinch of salt. A lot of carries for a fly half, but it's not just his fault. It's everyone around him as well. But Argentina, looking at the stats there, were the better team in general. They really were the better team today. So I think the Springboks got lucky to kind of go away with the win, capitalize when they needed to. They still did some things well. There were some periods of play where they looked good. And I think it was the 49th minute of the game. Cameron Hanekom carried the ball up. I think it was where Marco van Staden went out on the line. We eventually scored, I think. I think Cameron Hanekom carried the ball up really well, like he did all day. There was one period of play today where the Springboks looked really good, really brilliant on attack, looked really dangerous. And after that, not that much at all. So a lot to talk about, a lot to think about. I probably will be doing another review in the week, just dissecting this performance, seeing who should the Springboks pick against the All Blacks now after seeing all the games, after seeing the whole picture. But the player ratings will be out tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for all the support. A very disappointing performance for our Springboks. I am a Springbok fan. Very disappointing, but I have to look at it as a neutral as well. Argentina were the better team on the day. I think they'll be disappointed they didn't win this game, and I think the Springboks will be kind of breathing a sigh of relief right now, because at the end of the game, it was almost a draw. Thank you so much for all the support. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.